Okay, so we've got a very rare little beastie on the bench. This is a 1980 Suzuki RS250. So 1980 was the T model. I've only had one other RS before, and that was a 175, and that was a very popular machine when I came to sell it. This one looks very original, with the exception of the lights basically. So the front light and the front kind of what I would class as a number board headlight cowl, I suppose you'd call it on an enduro or road bike style machine, and the rear light, they've been changed, but the rest of it, from what I have seen, looks incredibly original indeed, which is very nice to see. All the vital signs are there that it will run. I haven't tried to start it yet, but it's got a good spark, it's got good compression, and the carb is clean, so I would expect it will run. The only other issue is that the throttle mechanism is missing, so we've only got a throttle cable, so we'll just have to see what we can do with that. So the RS was basically a cross between an RM, which was obviously the full motocross bike, and a PE, which was the full enduro bike. So you would kind of class this as more of like a cross country. So it's not full enduro, not full motocross, kind of a mix between the two really. I think in all honesty it's more similar to the motocross bike, but it's got, you know, enduro characteristics like longer gearing and softer suspension and stuff like that. Anyway, let's have a close look at it, and then we'll get the various checks done and hopefully get it running, and then we'll hopefully be having it up for sale later on today. So one of the first things to know is the tank, which is the Suzuki yellow, and it's just gone a bit faded, a bit oxidized from the sun, but that will clean off and polish up, and then you can obviously get the nice Suzuki decals for that. I'm gonna say that I think that these are the original Suzuki bars. Someone's gonna pull me up on it and say that I'm wrong, but from looking at it, I believe them to be the original bars. I have had a look at the pipe, and other than bits of surface corrosion, the pipe is in beautiful condition. No dents, which is, you know, almost unheard of. It's stunning condition, and just a blast up and a nice coat of heatproof black paint, and that will be bang on. I've checked the oil in the gearbox, and it's absolutely crystal clear oil. Really nice. It's got the original Suzuki warning sticker about modifying the exhaust on the swing arm. Amazed that that's not rubbed off. It's got the original Suzuki shocks, and on this side there is obviously the Suzuki sticker, but on the other side there's also the Suzuki sticker in slightly better condition than this one. The shafts have started to corrode, the chrome has gone through, but those shafts could be re-chromed, and somebody, although these aren't technically speaking, I don't think, a rebuildable shock, somebody will be able to rebuild that shock. A decent suspension company will be able to do that. They'll be able to basically cut the shock apart, do what they need to do, and then put it back together in a way that makes it rebuildable, or you could replace it with an aftermarket shock, set of shocks. Silencer in very good condition apart from the end cap, which just needs straightening out, so that's a very nice thing to have. engine casing's absolutely perfect. The whole and the underside of the frame, there's no dents anywhere. It's beautiful. It's the original paint on the frame. Kickstart, I mean, look at that. There's absolutely no play in that kickstart at all. It clicks back into place. It's really, really nice. I reckon it's probably not done a huge amount of work, this bike. The rear brake lever has had a bit of a whack, but that could be straightened out. Again, it's the original brake lever. The rear brake seems to be a little bit seized, but it hasn't bothered me pushing it around, so it just needs a bit of a clean up. Front wheel, again, is the original wheel, and no dents, no cracks that I have seen, and would just need a clean up really. You know, some of the bits of aluminium corrosion that will clean up, and you'll be able to get that out, and then you'll be able to polish it back up, and then once polished up, like a little coat of a clear lacquer, like a satin clear lacquer, would protect that forever. Not forever, but you know, for as much time as you need it to. Front brake plate in perfect condition. Forks, fork top on the right hand fork has started to go through. That would, you know, whether the lower has gone through or not, I'm not sure. I'm not taking the gaiters down. The top has started to go, so you know, the ideal thing to do would be to get it re-chromed. Last registered in 2011, this bike, which I was a bit surprised about. I thought it would have been sat for longer than that. The triple clamps have got the original coating on, the original Suzuki coating, which is very, very nice to see. Original Suzuki CDI, the original VIN tag on there. And other than little bits and pieces of rust, quite a rusty chain, everything else, the seat's going to need a new foam and a recover. But she's really nice, really original bike. Very nice to find them as original as this. So rear wheel, no dents, no cracks. Again, lovely to see. It has been either very light use or very well looked after until it was left outside. And leaving them outside in California, which is where this bike's come from, is not as bad as leaving them outside here, where they just end up a pile of rust on the floor. They do last quite well. It's mainly like the plastic and rubbery components that start to go, rather than the metal components, which are generally have surface rust, but that can be cleaned off and recoated. So we're looking good. We'll get the gearbox check done, and then we'll see if we can get her fired up. We're in neutral there, down into first, up into second, third, fourth, fifth and sixth, which is the top of the gearbox. 6 speed, obviously, on an enduro would be normal. That's the original gear lever as well, original foot pegs, original side stand. Very nice bike. Down into fifth, fourth, third, second and neutral. Right, let's see if we can get her to fire up and we can hear that 2-stroke lovely sound. So you can probably see the haziness. She's quite smoky. I suspect possibly a leaky base gasket. the smoke's not really clearing, so I suspect it's a leaky base gasket. We'll get her fired up. You can listen to her. She sounds really, really nice. Yeah, there we go. Asphyxiated. So yeah, you can see a bit smoky. It's white smoke, which would suggest to me it's got some kind of air leak, and I would think it'll be the base gasket. Just from experience, really. But other than that, motor sounds lovely. No horrible noises from it, and yeah, there we go. Very cool and very rare 1980 Suzuki RS250t. Please like this video and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Just search Phoenix Motos.